Yabba dabba doo. What's up, Charlie? Two Charlies. What's up, man? Yeah, this is a really interesting story. Somebody dropped it on the Facebook adventure page. Yeah, I'll give y'all some details here in a minute. See who all is in here. How's the audio? I hope everything is good. I am hoping. Y'all gotta keep me from scratching my face in case my mom is watching. Drives her crazy. It drives her crazy. She'll call me in the middle of the screen. Stop scratching your face. Pretty funny, I think. It's like that's what you got. That's what you got to tell your son. Don't nothing like put your leg on straight and stop scratching your face. It's good stuff, man. 12 people watching. What's up, Peter from the UK? All right, glad to have you, man. Good evening, Carl. It's Tuesday here. Yes, it's Tuesday here too for like 6 more hours. Wait a minute. Yeah, 6 more hours. Audio was great right now. So y'all let me know if anything screws up. I'm really having a hard time keeping the images on the screen right, so it's probably I need more help doing that than anything else. So yeah, for the 19 people that are here already, welcome. This is kind of funny. I was thinking somebody posted on my Facebook group, my adventure motorcycle, whatever the hell it is. Motor. I'll leave a link to all you Facebook folks. I'm not really a Facebook guy, but when it comes to discussion, um, pretty much anything's better than YouTube, and I wound up having discussions in the comment section of YouTube, which is horrible. And Facebook is just a little bit better. So I started a group over there for adventure camping. I can't remember what else, but um, one of the members posted an article about a biker. Apparently, he was dead, and I think just the mind blowing thing though is that he was dead, and um, apparently he ran off the road, hit a tree, and was dead by the time I guess rescue got there. But the weird thing is, from what I've gathered, and I just read the article that the guy posted, and I'll show you that in a minute. But so apparently, guy ran off the road, hit a tree. Happens all the time um, on the Dragon, just because it's a very dangerous road without any other people there. And a lot of people go up there and they don't have the experience to make those tight turns, and they run off the road. And then you combine that with way too many people, which is typical in the summer on the weekends. It's crazy. I always recommend people don't go up there in the summer on the weekends, even if that's the only time you can go. Save your weekend if that's the only time you can go for, spring, fall, something like that, because it's crazy in the summer. I pretty much just don't go on the weekends in the summer. I'll go in the summer, but it's usually Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, but people start flooding in on Thursday even. So, but anyway, it's a real interesting experience because it's basically a 11-mile long racetrack through the mountains, and It's got cars and motorcycles and bicycles and hikers and apparently bears. I don't think I've seen a bear on the dragon, but I've seen everything else. I've seen pigs just standing on the side of the road, just like, what do you want? I mean, didn't give a damn about me at all. And usually that's pretty odd for pigs. But anyway, trying to finish the story, I'm not really focused. I'm really tired. I've had a long day. Um, but to finish the story, apparently, I don't have any more details other than the two articles that I read. The one I'll show you here in a minute. Um, the biker ran off the road, hit a tree, died. When they went to rescue his body, and if you don't know the dragon, it's on the side of a mountain. So I wouldn't say cliffs, but the road is on top of very, very vertical-ish, very extreme angles on almost the whole everywhere. And some of the pitches are 40, 50 feet down. So it doesn't surprise me the guy hit a tree, number one. It doesn't surprise me that he died, number two. But the really shocking thing is that when they tried to go retrieve his body and probably his motorcycle, there's a black bear down there trying to retrieve his body at the same time. And so I'll pull that article out here and we'll go through that real quick. I really wanted to do some news stuff, and as soon as I saw this post, I was like, this is a news article. And if we can get this thing up. I wonder what's going on with my little video thing here. For all I know, this thing's going to crash, so bear with me, y'all. Dang, background. No, that's not it. I wonder. Oh. Let's try playing it. Yeah, there we go. Pause. All right. So the article comes in from Knox News. I don't know why this thing is not pausing for me. Deputy kills bear. He found scavenging body of motorcyclist killed on the tail of the dragon. That's from the other article I read. That's not quite true. I read another article that said he was. I didn't read the article. I read the headline. Guarding. The black bear was guarding the body. So that almost sounds like an animal rights article. You know, he was guarding the body, and that mean old deputy shot him anyway. So this article goes into some detail. Let's go through this real quick. I think there's a video on this one too. Yeah, and I think the video here is just about bears, but anyway, there's black bears all over that area. I've just never seen one on the parkway, just because I think mainly there's so much traffic. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, just walking through the woods, you'll probably see a black bear unless he sees you first. And I think that's the big misconception about black bears, is that everybody thinks that they're aggressive and they're out hunting humans, and everybody's terrified to go out in the woods with black bears. And I'm like, if you should be scared of anything of black bears is them getting your food at night, maybe, but you should probably be more concerned about raccoons and other critters, because black bears, they're very skittish. They don't like people, and the only time I've ever seen a black bear get aggressive is when they had cubs around. And yeah, they'll screw you up. I mean, they got big claws, they got teeth, and I imagine that let's see what this thing's saying. I can't remember. Let's see if I can blow this thing up so I can actually see it. This is the downside of doing this stuff live. Deputy attempting to retrieve the body when golly, what the heck? The deputy was attempting to retrieve the body when he encountered the bear on September 20th. The bear, an adult male between 150 and 175 pounds, that's a pretty big black bear, was about 30 yards away from the deputy spotted it. It was evident that the bear had been scavenging the remains of the body. The other article that I read said nothing about scavenging remains. It said, well, one said he was guarding, and the other one said um, he had not been messing with the body yet. So, um, yeah, I don't know what to believe. It's all fake news nowadays. Maybe there was no body. Maybe there was no motorcycle. Maybe, who the hell knows? That's my Facebook page. That's where the guy made the original post. Anyway, uh, I think I just wanted to talk about this because I think it's interesting. Talking about the dragon, everybody's always interested in the dragon. If you haven't been to the dragon, you should go, but you should know how to ride pretty well before you go up there. In other words, that's not the place you go on your first out of state trip. Number one, and you should have some skills, some real skills, parking lot skills. If anything else, if you can't, I think most states now require some pretty good agility on your motorcycle, and you will need it. You will need all the agility you can handle um, when you go to the Dragon. But yeah, it's a good place to die if you're not careful, and if you don't have any skills. If you've got less than 5,000 miles under your belt, you might want to wait a little bit while. If you've had less than 5,000 miles in the last 10 years, you should probably get some refresher training. If you've been riding forever and you've got less than 10,000 miles, I would say, uh, maybe go somewhere and get some assessment. Get a rider training course where they actually ride, take you around the course. You'll find out how bad your skill set is, especially if you're in there with a bunch of beginners. You've been riding for a decade, and all of a sudden you can't make those turns, and it's a real eye opener for most people because they think they know how to ride because they know how to ride big, wide, not twisty roads, and sometimes they're twisty, but they're big, long, sweeping turns, and they get themselves in a situation, and I've just seen it so many times. It just made me sick to watch it. And anyway, I'm getting off topic. We're talking about bears eating or not eating bikers. So I just wonder how many of y'all have seen this story because I was quite surprised to see it. I would like to say I'm in touch with what's going on out there, but I really I'm not. See what y'all think. What's up, Josh? Funny, I encountered a bear leaving. Yeah, I lost one day somehow. It is Wednesday. I think the sun comes up faster over there. Uh, what's up, Don? What's up, Solon? Been talking to you today already. Uh, don't ever cross the yellow line. You know how slow butt rides. Yeah, my slow butt. Yeah, it's not really the people. It's not people. The issue is not really the people in front of you unless you're just anxious because that'll ruin your trip too. If you get in there and you got to run 70 or you're going to have a fit, that's probably you don't need to go on the weekend because you're going to kill yourself passing people or somebody's going to turn left in front of you, and yeah, it's a good way to get hurt for very experienced, very good riders that are riding way too fast up there, and the people, most of the time that's what it is. The people that get hurt from people that don't know how to ride that cross into their lane because the turns are really tight, or they're not paying attention. They're waving to the cameras, and there's a lot of cameras up there. I'll get into that topic maybe later. The bear claimed the body. About 10 or 12 years ago, a black bear killed a woman in Cades Cove. That's really hard to believe, man, unless it was an old lady. Because, like I was saying, black bears are not very aggressive. And I can't imagine black bears up in that region being hungry. Hungry enough to go attack someone. Uh, find that find that article. I would like to see that. Because I'm skeptical. I mean, I'm not doubting you that you remember that, but I'm very skeptical that the bear actually killed the woman. So kind of like I'm skeptical that this bear was eating this biker, because if you think about it, I mean, certainly the guy could have been alive when he bounced off the tree and went down in the ravine, and certainly he could have died in the that time frame in between when rescue got to him. And but I'm wondering, because there's not a lot of details. Did he die? Did he die on Saturday and he went missing, and then they took a search party out and found his phone pinging or something like that, or just started looking for, you know, how long was he down there before they attempted the rescue? Because if it was a few days, he starts smelling, a bear will go. A bear's omnivore, so they'll scavenge. They will scavenge a dead body. But if he's not dead, unless he's got food on him, people don't typically smell like food to anything that's not hunting humans. So anyway, I've got a lot of questions and I couldn't find any answers. Maybe I didn't search deep enough, but I saw a few enough articles to make me think that the whole story's not out there, and it may just be they haven't released the victim's name yet, and that may be the thing. They're not releasing any details because they haven't contacted the family or whatever, or it could be they're trying to be respectful and not give a lot of details, the gory details. Yeah, your father, husband, brother was killed on a motorcycle, and leave it at that, instead of going, he was killed and he was eaten by a bear. I mean, does anybody really want to hear that? Or worse yet, a big, almost 200-pound black bear ran out in front of him, knocked him off his motorcycle, and started eating on him. You know, geez, that would be kind of freaky. Although, I guess anything's possible. 10 or 12 years... Best time to go is 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. Don't go on the weekend. Yeah, that's what I keep saying. It's a mess. I mean, once you get your initial visit in, once you go and you go, okay, I got the lay of the land, I understand it. I shared the entire 11 miles with 20 people. And, you know, you run it a few times and have fun doing it during the week. And then anytime you want to go back, once you get the lay of the land, you will see the actual chaos. The next time you go in the summer on the weekend, you will see the actual chaos where you're going around a corner and somebody's in your damn lane. Usually it's a car with two wheels in your lane. Maybe not so bad, but a lot of times it's a freaking motorcycle. And he's waving at the photographer over there, and he's just completely oblivious to, you know, people coming around the corner, or he's out of his element. And that's what I've seen more times than not. I mean, most of the time you'll see cars coming around with two wheels in your lane, which always pisses me off, especially when they're going way too fast and going, well, you know, I don't want to run off the road, so I'll kill the biker or whoever's coming in the other lane that I can't see yet. Have not seen the story. Did encounter a bear at the tail in June in the middle of the road. Oh, wow. Ran around a tree as I got real close. Yeah, see, they're pretty much very timid, but maybe they're feeding on bikers. Maybe that's the story that everybody's missing. Maybe there is a group of very large male black bears that are just waiting on the biker lunch. That's why I drew the picture of the. Well, I didn't draw it. I had my robot do that for me. She had 2 cubs. Don't get between a bear and a cub. So that's the only time I've ever seen black bears be aggressive, is when they had cubs. In fact, I've got one on film. I can't remember what's up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I don't know, well over a decade ago, I think. Well, no, that could have been. Yeah, that was a decade or more ago. And I pulled off or something. I think it was the start of a hiking trail. I think this last trip I stopped at that same little spot. I think I filmed hey, I think this is where I saw that black bear. And it was crossing the parking lot, and I didn't see its cubs. And I was like, oh, cool, black bear. So I pulled out my camera and I started filming, and the bear stopped in the middle of the dirt road. So it's the Blue Ridge Parkway, and then there's a turnoff, and there's a parking spot. So it makes me think that there was probably a trailhead there. But the dirt road went down. It seems like that road goes down into a small community, very small community, like a few nice houses sitting on the side of the mountain there. But anyway, I pulled off the road after us. That's what it was. I saw the black bear. I said, "Oh, cool, black bear." Turned on the camera, and black bear stopped in the middle of the dirt road and looked at me, and then she went, whoop, like, "I'm gonna charge you. I'm gonna eat you." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, really? You're cute." I think she was small. She was 70, 80 pounds. What I would call an average female, maybe a little bit above average for a female, but she had cubs, so um, anyway, she did that a couple times. Whoomp, whoomp, and I was like, "What the hell is she doing?" And then I looked in the tree, and there was two cubs. Yeah, cute little cubs going up the trees. So I think they give them training early on. It's like, okay, so if we encounter any bikers out there, just I want you guys to run to the nearest tree and go up, and I'll take care of the biker. I'll get us some lunch, honeys. Y'all go up the tree, and I'll get us some lunch, and I'll drag the dirty, stinky biker into the woods, and then we can all have something to eat. So when you clearly see the biker is dead, you come down the trees and wash up before you come down, and ride the drag at least 3 times a year. I don't really understand how so many of them run off the mountain. You don't know enough bikers, Sam. You haven't met all the people that really shouldn't be riding a motorcycle, and that's I think that's the largest problem. Um, Black bear in New Mexico killed 4 people. It was the same bear. You should pull that article, man. I know how you are in your crazy YouTube videos that you watch. Brown bear, maybe. Black bear, I don't know, man. Brown bear is a different story. They will hunt people and they will eat them, and I am terrified of brown bears, especially the big ones. But yeah, Sam, going back to, you don't see how you think that's an easy road, but I think that is probably I would say that's probably a 9 on a scale of 10 as far as tricky. Nobody's on the road, no distractions. I would agree with you. No distractions, and a normal rider should be able to navigate that. There are some off camber. What I remember, seems like there's some off camber stuff. So things like that, just small sections of off camber, and there's really tight turns. And I have seen people that on a good day can't navigate turns like that, especially doing 25, 30 miles an hour, which you will see a lot of the big bikes, a lot of guys on cruisers, and they probably shouldn't be riding in the first place. But if you've ever ridden with these people, and I have, it's terrifying. It's terrifying being behind them, number one. Being behind them on, mild country roads. Just they can't navigate the roads, or they cut the corners because they're terrified of, well, everybody else is doing 40, and that's a scary turn because it goes like this, and they will cut the corners, and it's something that I hate to see. And it's one of those things where they don't even know. They don't even know how bad a rider they are, and they get in over their heads, and that's a bad place to discover that you're way over your head. And the way most people find out is they're in the ditch, or they're off the side of the cliff, or they've dumped their bike. Luckily, if they're lucky, they don't hit anything. They dump their bike, or. But yeah, if you want to see some wrecks, that's a good place to go see wrecks, and or just peruse the Dragon photographers sites. There's 4 or 5 photographers up there. One of them is really big, Killboy. He's been up there forever, and he usually has 2 or 3 pop-ups. They'll select different turns. There's Killboy. There's 129 Slayer. Just look up. Tell the Dragon photographers, and you'll come up with a list of 4 or 5 of them. And if you want to see some crazy photos, look at the people. You don't have to find the crash photos. All you have to do is look at the people running over the double yellow in the corner where they're taking the pictures. And usually that's where they are. They're in a corner aimed where they can get both ends of the corner. You can get them coming in, you can get them coming out, and that's where they usually are, is in those corners. And you'll see just the most bizarre stuff. Cars with half of the car in the other lane, because they're basically racing, and they have no clue of what happens if you don't get back. What happens if you hit the guy that's just like you, the mirror image of you coming the other way? They're both going way too fast for their skill level, and they meet each other in a corner, and it's bad. I made a video a while back. It's an epic string of pictures. It's basically, and these guys are not really, thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment, but they're doing, so it's almost like a movie. Instead of 30 frames a second, it's probably, I don't know, 15 frames a second, but they're getting all the meat and potatoes as I'll go back and find that. I'm pretty sure I made a video of it, but it would not be hard to find the photos of it either. But it's basically a series of pictures. This guy and his old lady crossing the double yellow, looking at the photographer. So he's coming in the other guy's lane, and he's coming this way. And the other guy and his old lady, bam, and everybody is ass over tea kettle. I am absolutely sure that somebody went to the hospital, if not all four people. It seemed like one of them was pretty badly injured. I think one of the women and one of the men, and I think it was the guy that was crossing over. Anyway, no, they're not paying attention. There's so many distractions. You got photographers in every corner. You got motorcycles. You got people. You got guys on sport bikes doing 70 miles an hour in the midst of guys on big cruisers doing 15 and 20. So it's a prime place for disaster. I blame Disney for showing wild animals as people. Remember Baloo from Jungle Book? Disney. We should blame Disney for the collapse of our culture. On the weekend, these guys are dressed to go down. Warriors. Yeah, that's true. Texan on two wheels, evening. What's up? Charlie, a few turns were tight turns. Get tighter. Guys can't push it down anymore or go off the road. Yeah. I mean, most of the time it's people that don't know what their bike is actually capable of. Every once in a while, you get somebody that's, he's scraping pegs through every corner because he's going so fast. So maybe he's a decent rider. And then he even gets surprised and goes, oh, wow. Yeah, you lever the front or the rear tire, and it's not going to go. It's going to tend to go straight. Once you lever that bike, it's going to go in the direction where that inertia was. Because metal is just not, it doesn't have very much traction. And the best sign of a motorcycle that has lost traction is the sparks that are coming out. It's a really good sign. It's always a sign. 80-pound bear is a cub. Look for the marabou are in trouble and don't know it. I don't know what a marabou is. Bears in my area are easily 300 pounds and plentiful. Not the best animals to hit as roadkill. Where are you at, Tyler? I want to know where a 300-pound black bear is. I mean, the guy that was eating this biker was under 200 pounds. And I would call that a pretty decent sized black bear. I'm sure they get bigger. I just don't know where. That's why I'm really interested where you're at, Tyler. Stefano Capella. I see the same here in Alberta, Canada on curves. Well, you're probably gonna see that anywhere. But imagine 11 miles. Just think about that. If you haven't been to the Dragon, 11 miles. How many curves? Typical 11 miles. Say the curviest place you've ever been. 11 miles. 11 miles. I would say probably outside of the Dragon, the curviest place I've ever been. I would say there's probably 5, 10 curves every mile. So let's say there's 10, the maximum, 10 curves in every mile. That's 100. That's 100 plus. That's 110 curves in 11 miles. That would probably be everywhere else on Earth. The curvy, say like going down a river. Those rivers tend to be pretty curvy. But imagine the curviest river you've been on, and then imagine being transported to Tennessee on top of a very rugged mountaintop, and imagine that 10 curves per mile that you're basically experiencing on a river, or maybe some canyon road, or maybe some mountaintop where you're from, and multiply that by 3, and you've got the dragon, because the dragon has 318 curves in 11 miles, and they're very tight. Some of them are very, I would say most of them. Sweepers on the dragon are pretty rare. There's not very many until you get down low. So when you start getting down the hill on 129, it's yeah, there's not a lot of sweepers, and I mean really tight turns. All you have to do if you want more information about the dragon, there's tons of video. I think I've got 3 or 4. I made one. Yeah, I think I made one this last trip before I lost my leg. Made a quick dodge down. Yeah, that was a pretty good video, I think. I'm blogging on 2 cameras. Had one set up on the side. Yeah, that was a pretty good video. Go back and find that. 5 months back, maybe 6 months back, maybe. Anyway, yeah, that may have been one of my better dragon videos. Most of the time, I don't spend too much time up there unless it's during the week. I always like to run the thing when I'm near it because it's a fun road, and of course I ride it too fast. But when I'm riding it, there's nobody else up there. I'm sharing it with 20, 30 people. That's the way it should be, especially if you've never been before. Go up there on a Tuesday, Wednesday, ride it a few times, come back on the weekend. Go ride everything else. Everything else up there is fun, even on the weekends. But as far as I'm concerned, the dragon on the weekend, you should probably do it in a car, and you should probably sit on the side of the road and just watch the freaking chaos, because it is a clown show. Canucks have a hard time with turns, bro. Oh, now, don't start that war. 11 miles, 318 turns. Thanks, Gary. I have not been on the dragon. Only been riding about 3 or 4 years. I still feel nervous about it. Yeah, you should be nervous. You should be nervous. You can go take. You could take a. Harley has a pretty good school. I've heard. I've never been to their school. But anybody that's making you do sharp turns in a parking lot, anybody that's offering something like that and gives you the instruction to tell you what you need to do to become a better rider, anything like that. And I would say if you haven't taken the basic rider course, if you haven't taken a basic rider course, you need to go take one, because I think it can make the difference between life and death, or losing a leg. It's that's the one thing I'll be talking about probably in the months to come, is how fragile we are, because people don't know. People don't know because there's not a lot of information out there on the negative side of riding a motorcycle, and that's I kind of feel like that's my mission going forward, is talk about the negative stuff in addition to the positive stuff, and then I got to explain. If I'm so negative about it, if it's so dangerous, why are you getting back on a motorcycle now? Well, that's really up to me. I'll try to explain that as best I can, but it's also, I'm not going to try to talk people out of riding a motorcycle, but I think it's very important that people understand the risk and the fragility of the human body. It's like I still don't know how the hell I lost my foot. I came out pretty good considering, going down 80 plus miles an hour, going down on the interstate and not getting crushed by a bunch of cars. I had basically 2 sprained wrists. I had a scratch on my arm, had two pretty severe scratches on my knees despite my heavy duty mesh riding gear. It wore holes in my riding gear and then started wearing holes in my skin. Um, two broken ribs, two cracked vertebrae, and scuffed face, and I lost my foot. And and took a piece off my. I need to talk about my toe because people are asking about my toe and if it's hard to walk. It's like I'm missing about that much of my toe. I think it took like a V out of my toe, so they did a little surgery. It's funky looking. I kind of want to show pictures, but I kind of want to let it heal too because it's funky looking. I don't like looking at it, so I don't imagine the rest of the world would want to look. Anyway, we're fragile. That's what I'm trying to say. We're fragile, and I think if you don't understand that, you probably shouldn't ride a motorcycle. If you don't understand the risk, and you don't try to mitigate the risk, but that's up to you. You know, if you understand the risk, and you go, nah, I'm not real keen on my skin. And I used to be the same way. I used to ride around in shorts and t-shirt and flip-flops, and I'm glad I wasn't wearing that shit when I went down. I probably wouldn't have left the hospital. I'd probably still be there. They'd probably still be giving me grafts, skin grafts, trying to save. Oh God, who knows, man? But yeah, I mean, I get kind of cringy now when I see people. And I was also the guy that, riding around in shorts and flip flops and t-shirt and going, man, do your own thing. You want to wear gear? I don't care. I don't want anybody being preachy. And I don't want to be preachy either. I just want to say, hey, look, you understand what happens when you fall off a motorcycle. Just imagine falling off a bicycle, going 10 miles an hour. You're falling off your bicycle. You're going to skin your hands. You're going to skin your elbows. And you're just going to skin your knees, probably, if you're not wearing any kind of protective equipment. 10 miles an hour. Now, imagine coming off a motorcycle 35, 40 miles an hour. How long do you think your skin's going to last? It's going to be much worse than and not just that, 10 miles an hour, your body's going to stop pretty quickly. You're not going to go slide. But 30, 40 miles an hour? I mean, I could tell you, I slid down that interstate about 150 feet. That's the best I could tell. 150 yards, I'm sorry. It was at least a football field and probably another half from the images that I looked at. 150 yards sliding down the interstate. My bike went further. My bike went another 20, 30 yards. It didn't have that skin braking system. Anyway, getting off topic. Let's talk about bears. They just repaved it. Big drop off on the asphalt. Yeah, it's they've always had a big drop off on the asphalt. There's no real shoulder up there anywhere. Yeah, you can't really make mistakes. That's the problem with the Dragon. There's not really any margin for error. You can't make mistakes, and you can't be around other people making mistakes. This time of year, bears eat anything and everything looks or smells like food. Maybe they'll start taking reservations like National Park Service. Well, they have stopped the tractor trailers from going up there. I think it's like $1,000 fine if you try to take your stupid. I mean, imagine that a U.S. highway that does not allow tractor trailers, and I think that's the arrogance that used to be. Is like, it's a U.S. highway. I'm taking my damn truck wherever. Even with the signs, I don't care about the signs, and they would put those damn things in the ditch because you can't turn what are they, 70 feet? You can't turn a 70 feet. It doesn't matter that you got a big turning tractor up there in front of it. You can't navigate. Those turns are so tight. It's kind of like trying to get in somebody's backyard with a tractor trailer. How the hell are you going to do that? Keith Code, twist of the wrist. Yeah, that's it. You can learn on paper all you want to, but until you get out and practice it in a closed environment, what do they call it? Closed circuit track. A closed circuit track. Until you get out there and practice it, you can watch Keith Code all you want, and I really admire his stuff. I don't think they still teach, do they? Maybe they still do. I don't know. But he's got great videos. His books are great. Um, but yeah, go practice some of those drills in a parking lot. And usually that's what I do in the spring is I go, hey, look, here's some drills to do some self-assessment and see how bad your skills are. And it's eye-opening. If you go do those things in the spring, I'll do another one. You get in a parking lot and go, wow, I can't turn. It's basically turning in between two parking spaces. If you can't do a circle backwards and forwards in between two parking spaces, a couple of times. If you can't do that, you probably shouldn't be riding a big, heavy motorcycle down the road. And if you're riding a small motorcycle, you should really be able to do it. But yeah, that's what I said. To me, that's an easy way to gauge. Get out in a parking lot that doesn't have a bunch of oil in it and see if you can do two circles in between two parking spaces. And if you can't do that, you should reassess, maybe consider taking a riding class. Get a Keith Code video. Superbike school. Yeah, that's probably not for everybody, Edmund. I'm talking about basic motorcycling, not learning how to go really, really fast, which I think you can get a lot of wonderful skills from a superbike school too, but that's not made for most people, I would say. Haven't seen the video. I'd recommend it. Oh, you're talking about the Keith Code? He's got a bunch of really good videos that I've shared a lot of times. All met people who should not be riding on their own good. Yeah. Hey, mate. What's up, Chris? I'm just getting in. Is it true? What happened? The basic thing is there's a bunch of discrepancies in what actually happened, but a guy ran off the road on the Dragon, hit a tree, died. When the sheriff deputy came back to remove his body and I guess his motorcycle, he encountered a black bear who was guarding or eating or getting ready to, I don't know, go through the downrider's pockets. I don't know what he was doing, but he became very aggressive. He was 30 yards away from the deputy at the time. Deputy pulled his rifle and shot the bear. That's the gist of the story. Depending on who you talk to, we don't know. One article said maybe he was consuming the body when they got there, which kind of makes me think, damn, how long did it take them to recover the body? If he was chomping, how long did it take them from the time somebody said, yeah, he's dead? Call the coroner, call the rescue crews. Because if you run off the downside of the mountain, pretty much you're going to have some real talented extraction ropes, cables, pulleys, motors, and people that know how to use all the above. So that's probably the most dangerous part, is not only the curves, but the margin of error. You have no margin of error. There's a ditch on this side, there's trees and a mountain on this side, and then on this side it's a 50-foot drop in a lot of places, and sometimes probably even more than that. And 50-foot drop, that the only thing that is going to stop you is a tree. If you get wedged in a tree, odds are pretty good that you're going to hit a few trees down, like what is it, Jenga? Yeah, it's a pretty scary place if you think about going off the road. It's a blast. If you know what you're doing and there's not a lot of people out there, that's one of the best places to ride. I saw a dead black bear next to the railing near the top of the Cumberland Gap. Dead? He probably got hit by a car. Do bears think people taste like chicken? That's a good question. My friend fed me some black bear meat. It's better than roast. I have heard that bear is really good. And I watched this couple YouTube years ago, and I can't find it. Golly, they had the best YouTube videos. This couple that I thought was living full time on a sailboat in Alaska, which is absurd when you think about it. But I saw ice and I saw snow, and anyways, cute little couple. Well, they weren't cute, but they were fun to watch. Apparently, they would go out on the weekends and live on their sailboat in these magnificent little inlets and sloughs, basically on the ocean. They would go up the coast and find some little inlet, and they would fish, pull this amazing seafood in. They would drink beer and fish and eat They'd had a grill that popped out, and they would grill their fish. And then when they got tired of fish and lobster and all the stuff, they were just pulling up every day, just pulling all the food that they could ever eat up. When they got bored with that, they were like, let's go hunting. And they would go, hey, there's a bear. Pow! And they were getting their dinghy and go get the bear and come back, clean it and eat it. And it would be, bear steaks, bear hamburgers. And I can't find I think they deleted their channel, which just makes me so sad because it was so much fun to watch. I can't even remember the name of them. Late again. YouTube never tells me. Join the sorrow, brother. Glad to have you, Bruce. Holy smokes! Have been told bear is good. Two of my uncle's good friends, mother and sons, were killed by grizzly. Shugal State Forest. Where is that? Yeah, grizzlies are a different story. You do not want to run into grizzlies because they don't spook very easily. They're like, no, I'm top of the food chain, bitch. Unless you got one of those guns. You got one of those big guns, because you could probably hit me with a smaller caliber and probably just piss me off. Bear. I'm channeling my inner bear. The biggest problem on Tail of the Dragon is slow Harley riders that were impeding traffic and too rude to pull off like cautious people. I would say, Mike, I don't know that that's the biggest problem. They're irritating, but it just goes back to the same thing. It's like, you go on the weekend and you're going to see several hundred slow bikes, slow cars, people that are just out seeing the sights. And that's why I always say, don't go on the weekends. You got the slow people, and then you got the faster people like me that go, shit, these guys are killing me. Why don't they pull off? Well, they don't know. None of them know. And if they did know, they would be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to pull over there because I might fall over on my bike. Seriously, it's a mixture of people that really should not be up there. And, everybody's got a right to enjoy it. And they're probably going close to the speed limit. It's going to piss you off, but if that pisses you off, if slow people riding pisses you off, don't go on the weekends. Go during the week. Find a way. Don't waste your time on the weekends. Unless you've gone during the week and you know the thing backwards and forwards and you're ready to tackle the chaos. But unfortunately, everybody goes on the weekends. And that's why they piss everybody off. Yeah, I would say that's probably far from the biggest problem. Not slow riders, incompetent drivers, people not paying attention. That's the biggest problem. Or you could say, it's the people that are going really, really fast and don't give a shit and passing in corners and yeah, sure. But, are they a majority of the crashes up there? No. Most of the time, the majority of the crashes are typically people that shouldn't be out there, or they're riding over their head. And for some people, riding over their head is leaving the city that they live in. And I'm trying to be funny, but I'm not really trying to be that funny. Anyway, this is probably going to be a short stream, even though it's been an hour. I just wanted to show y'all what came in the mail today. One of the benefits, and I try always to find the upside of being handicapped, and this is one of them. Lifetime Parks Pass, and I think I get a discount on the parks. It seemed like I remember that they had the parks had awesome deals, and they do. You can get, and I've done this several times in the past. Annual pass. You can get an annual pass for $80. I think it's still $80. So you can see every park in the United States if you want to. You can go every park in the United States if you pay $80 for 1 year. And they've got other levels. I think if you're retired, I think you get one for like $40. And they got a, where's, yeah, thing here. Let me read this stuff off for people that are interested. I like the $80 thing. I did that for a couple of years in a row because it was so extraordinary, and I was going to all the parks. Well, I don't think I've gotten to half of them, but some of them I really like. Um, so an annual pass is $80, 12 months. A senior annual pass is $20. And to be a senior, you have to be 62 or older, and I'm closing on that. This pass cost me $10, and it's not to buy the access; it's to buy, I guess, the processing. They sent me all kinds of stuff. They sent this, so if I wanted to park, wanted free parking, or to, I guess this maybe gets you in the gate. You put the card in here, and I'm not going in my car, so that's never going to happen. But yeah, so I mean, $10. They sent me a package with this and that, and then the card. So basically, I think that's $10 for the processing. Probably any of these things are going to cost you. Even so, mine is free, but they charged me $10. So senior lifetime pass is $80. So you get to 62. I think that's right. Yeah, 62. If you're 62 or older, $80 one time gets you a lifetime, just like I got. It's a freaking hell of a deal, especially if you like parks. And I probably should do a video on my favorite parks and why. Most of the time, I don't like camping in national parks because most of the time there's just too damn many people. Um, but there's some amazing parks out there. And if you're buzzing by a national park and you go, man, that would be great, but it's like $40, and I don't have that much time. If you had 4 hours, that's $10 an hour and go to the park, and I pretty much stay broke, so it's a bigger deal for me. But if you're buzzing by, you're on your way to Sturgis, and there's uh what's the big cone that comes out of the, I can't think of the name of my brain's dying. Um, they filmed the Close Encounters there, and I can't even think of the damn name of the mine. It's right there on the way. It's pretty close. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of parks around the country that, yeah. One of my favorites is South Dakota. Badlands. It's one of my favorite parks. Is it super cool geology? Yeah. In fact, that's why I went. I went to see the geology. Why is it so cool? It's got some geology and they've got some wildlife. Unfreaking believable wildlife everywhere. And take some freaking binoculars because you won't see. You can sit up on the ridge where I camped, which is another thing. Next time I'm out that way, I am camping. I tried to camp outside the park. I tried to have my buffalo experience again, like I had. Yeah, it was the first time I went out there. I had this most amazing buffalo experience, and I rode my motorcycle probably where I shouldn't have. It wasn't inside the park. I camped inside the park on top of a ridge. Anyway, unbelievable experience with animal life like I've never had anywhere else. And I've been to Rocky Mountain State Park, which was another unbelievable experience because there's, Yellowstone, buffalo everywhere in the road. That's annoying, but yeah, you're not going to have the same experience that you have anywhere else. I've never had anything close to the same experience. And it wasn't just buffalo. It was gazelle. I would have to go back and watch the video and go, man, it was like 6 different packs of animals, herds of animals that you could see with a binocular. Or you could just wait by the buffalo trails and wait for a herd of 50, 100, 200 buffalo to walk right past you, which is what I did. Pretty crazy stuff. Anyway, there's so much beautiful stuff out there in the parks. And there's so much underrated parks. And I would also say there's so many parks that are open not in the summer. In addition to summer, they're open other times when there's not very many people, which is the prime time for me. Or I think the summer is not that bad in Badlands. I'm trying to remember. It seemed like it was the fall when I was there. uh, Chujiak State Forest outside of Anchorage. Oh yeah, they got some crazy bears up there, man. I'll be there December. Hopefully, drag you out of there early spring. Yeah, let's go, man. I tried to spell courteous, not cautious. So many HT riders are rude and won't pull off. Many pull-offs on a Monday and a Tuesday on the Dragon. Yeah, I mean, usually I just pass people like that. If they're going really slow, they're usually easy to pass because they're all lined up. Nobody's riding side by side. They're usually, you know, just hit that double yellow and pass them. And if they're being really rude, just give them the wave. Like, hey, there's a pull off. Use that. They started putting signs up there. I think use pull offs. If Okay, maybe not on the Dragon, but I know a lot of states. You're going through a canyon uphill. They got signs that say if more than 3 cars are behind you, you need to use the pull offs. I think Montana does that. I think Idaho, and I'm trying to remember, maybe Wyoming. They started putting these signs in because they had a lot of people dying because there's a RV going up this scary canyon road uphill 12 miles an hour, and he's driving past all the pullouts, and people are going, fuck this, I gotta get home. And there's 100 people in a bus that die. Try courteous, been there, done that. Didn't buy t-shirt. Did get a helmet decal. Rather be on a back row by myself. Yeah, Bobber Guide, try it again during the week, man. I think you'll have a different experience. Can't see all the parks in 1 year. Are you saying a national park pass is $80 per year? Yes, Mike. I am saying that anybody can get a park pass for $80 a year, and I highly recommend it. And if you're 62 or older, you can get an $80 lifetime pass. Vehicles $14 when purchased at license plate registration renewal is through Secretary of State. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Mike. Yes, you can't see all the parks in a year, but is that going to keep you from seeing 20? Because I think I saw maybe 15 or 20 in 1 year. I mean, it depends on how fast you can race around the country because most of the parks are out west. I would say most of the parks are at least, I would say 75% of national parks are west of the Mississippi River. They got a whole lot more going on out there as far as epic scenery and wildlife, and most of the things they got going on out there is the government owns a lot of land out there and in beautiful spots. I'm thankful for a lot of the government owned land. The thing that most people don't talk about anymore is BLM, not the angry racist communist movement. Bureau of Land Management. You've got a bunch of government agencies, and the largest land owning agency is the Bureau of Land Management. They got land everywhere, and guess what? It's not a national park. It's not a state park. But it's open land that you'll see some signs saying, hey, we got this, we got that. There's places that you can go and enjoy nature where there's nobody else. That's why I love BLM, because it's some of the places that BLM has, including some of their campgrounds, are some of the most magnificent places on earth. And nobody's there because nobody knows about it unless they go, oh, BLM something something. Yeah, let's go check that out. There's not a push to get people out on BLM land, which means it's perfect for me. I can go out and enjoy BLM and not see a lot of people. Okay, there's not a lot of resources out in a lot of those places. Sometimes very little, but sometimes they have campgrounds. Sometimes they have vault toilets. Sometimes they have running water. Rarely. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of amazing stuff out there that most people don't know about. And I'll be glad to share all that information with you guys if you are interested. I need to get the $20 old fart. Ah, shit, man. Don't do that. Get the $20 thing is for 1 year. Old fart, $20 a year or $80 a year is lifetime. So you get, you know, so if let's say you get the $20 1 year thing this spring, and you go hit a few parks and you go, wow, this is pretty cool. What do you do then? I want to do this again next year. Okay, well, next year you get the $20. Yeah, economics. I'm not going to lecture you on economics. I'm just pushing the annual, the lifetime stuff over the annual. It's such a good deal. It's Devil's Tower. Thank you, Bruce. Senior lifetime pass is $15 when I turn 62. I'm a fossil. Hey, man, you're like a fine wine, bobber guy. Motorcycle $7 when purchased at time of your license plate registration. I don't know what you're saying there, Mike. $14 later. A similar park card in Canada, Province Parks. I like in case you can use all facilities for the day. Oh, no, that's great. Newsflash: Taylor Dragon is double yellow, and yes, pass them by the dozens. Just don't want to have a cop see you. Yeah, that's the magic thing about during the week. You're not going to see a cop out there during the week. It would be very rare. I've seen cops out there Thursday through Sunday, and Sunday, once afternoon hits, the cops go home. They're going to be out there Friday and Saturday. They want to see all the drunks out there. They want to get the drunks off. They want to get the speed racer and all his buddies, and yeah, they want to slow people down, and that's what they do. And they will enforce. On the Tennessee side, you don't really see the North Carolina side, but it's only like 3 or 4 miles North Carolina. You see them, just don't see them very very often, or anything like Tennessee. 63, time to get one. Narrow gauge rail, Silverthorne to Durango steam train. Yeah, that sounds fun. Anything narrow gauge is cool. Except the one I know about that's in Silverton, Colorado, is like $80. $80 for a train ride. Okay, it's gonna take you 4 hours, but geez. You said you can see all the parks in 1 year. I said, why race around in a rush? Yeah. It's supposed to be turned over to the state. Mike, you're all over the place, man. I'm having a hard time following what you're trying to say. Libraries, you can check out state parks pass for free. What? That's crazy. Nice work on the treadmill. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching that boring-ass video. Be sure and get a $500 filming permit for the BLM for your professional YouTube channel. Yeah, that's never going to happen. I copied and pasted the price of Michigan State Parks permit. You just got here. What did I miss? A rider got eaten by a bear. Huh. So, for those of y'all showing up late because YouTube doesn't notify you, what you missed is a motorcyclist ran off the road, hit a tree, tumbled down probably a ravine. I'm guessing somebody called and said, my hubby's missing. They went and found him, and when they were trying to recover his body, there was a black bear either eating it or guarding it or staring at it lovingly. Maybe the bear called the rescue folks, but depending on which article you read, you're going to get three different versions, at least from what I've read so far, is there's 3 different versions. So we don't know. We don't know the cause of the accident. We don't know the rider's name. We don't know, time frame from the time he hit the tree and died to the time that Mr. Black Bear showed up. But it was a 175-pound black bear that was maybe scavenging, maybe guarding. No shit, guarding. Or maybe just kind of sitting, hanging out. Don't really know, because everything's fake news now. But that's why you came here, because you get the honest truth here. You get everything that I have read. which, you should go do your own research now. Uh, yeah, thanks, Chris. Whoa, yeah, dead bikers. Well, hopefully the guy was dead before the bear got to him. Hopefully, I think I said this at the beginning. Yeah, I did. I said this at the beginning. Maybe there's a gang of black bears up there, big, heavy set black bears, standing on the side of the road, waiting for bikers to come by, like the picture behind me. And maybe they're all just waiting for dinner, and they're like, yeah, all you got to do is reach out and smack the guy in the head. He falls off his motorcycle. Or you could just go, "Rrr!" And the guy goes, "Ah!" and rides off the cliff. That may be what happened. I don't know. I'm making light of a tragic situation, but that's kind of what I do. Tragedy, smagedy. Condolences to the family that we don't know who the hell this guy is. Maybe we'll never know. Especially if the guy was getting chewed on by a black bear. But that would raise a big question in my mind: is how long did it take them? Because I can't imagine a black bear going, oh, guy just ran off the road. He's probably fucked up. I think I'm gonna go chomp on him. And if that was the case, who knows, man? I mean, it could be the same way that I'm probably gonna die. Well, I would hope to die that way, is, 90 years old, I ride off some cliff, and, it takes them a while to find my body. That would be the way I would like to go out. I would like to go out looking off the side of the road and running off the cliff when I'm 90. But the way I don't want to go out, and this is what I'm about to cover in a video I started working on today, is the video I talk about my worst case scenario is riding down some dusty trail looking for the epic campsite, or looking for the epic scenery or wildlife or whatever, and hit some gravel in a corner, pop, snap my leg, snap my knee, snap the other leg, and I can't get back to my motorcycle. I can't get my motorcycle up, or just, I don't have the strength, which is why I'm going really slow on doing my solo thing. It's terrifying to think I'm going to die. I'm 30 miles away from the nearest pavement, or 30 miles away from the nearest town. There's no way I can hike out 30 miles. I can't walk a mile now. So even if everything else is good, my leg is not to the point where I could walk a mile if I can't get my bike up. So I'm going to die in the wilderness by myself, because I'm going to run out of water, because I'm in the middle of nowhere and there ain't nobody coming up this road for another 6 months, or I don't know, 6 days would probably be enough to kill me. Anyway, that's the video I'm working on, and it's just kind of one of those things, thought-provoking thing. And that might have been what happened to this guy. He was racing in the middle of the week, and nobody was up there. Nobody saw him go off the road. Mother, cousin, brother said, Bubba is missing, and he was up riding a dragon. Can y'all go look for him? And they found him, maybe found him by his smell, maybe found him because a bear is chewing on his ass, and who the hell knows? That's a scary thought. That's a hell of a way to die, is dying of dehydration, exposure. That's not the way I want to go out. Like I said, I want to ride off the side of the cliff when I'm 90. If anybody could arrange that'd be great. Whoa, Silverton, just like the C.W. McCall song. Here comes the Silverton up from Durango. I've never heard that song. I got to go check that out. Yeah, I love that stretch, man. I love the San Juans. That's my favorite place to be in the summer. Do you have the name of the specific town it happened in? There is no town, Chris. The Dragon is 11 miles in the middle of the mountains. That's the best I could tell you. It's Highway 129. Look up Tail of the Dragon. You'll see it's an epic stretch of road in the middle of nowhere. Really, it's not in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of I'm trying to think of the nearest towns. Robbinsville is the closest town. That's on the North Carolina side, and then going this way is probably Marysville. I can't remember the next town that you come to. Um, on the Tennessee side. My uncle's friends were killed by a grizzly that was guarding the moose he killed next to the trail. He was guarding his food, and they were running, training for a marathon. You are not supposed to run. Well, maybe if they're running a marathon, maybe they thought they could get away from them. What happened to? Don't feed the bears. Two guys riding on the dragon. One hit his buddy. They both crashed. One died. The other laid in the ravine for 2 days with a broken back and no cell signal. They did find him and save him. So are you saying that that's the guy? You should pitch your situation to Garmin for a satellite communicator so you can make it to 90. Yeah, I've had the satellite communicators. I'm thinking about getting another one. The one that I will not get is not Garmin. I actually like the Garmin's. I looked into the plans. The device is not that expensive. It's a couple $100. But the plans are what's ridiculous. And I spend a lot of time traveling. So if you say, here's your monthly fee and it's $30, it'd be great to have a tracker. I really like the idea of being able to text. The little guy that I had pre-programmed things. I mean, it was tiny. I can't remember. It was Spot. Do not buy a Spot tracker. They're the absolute worst company on planet Earth. They're the most unethical people I've ever dealt with. Don't buy a Spot. And not just that, you got better products out there. It's Garmin and InReach. Or is it Garmin InReach? Anyway, there's two different devices that you can travel with now, and they both allow you to text, which would be really good. Hey, I ditched my bike in a canyon and I can't get it up. I've fallen and I can't get up. Yeah, that would be nice. Hey, can somebody local, can you call the sheriff and maybe have him come? Oh, I just need somebody to help me pick my bike up. Or I broke my prosthetic leg and I can't even stand up. I'm crawling around on the ground, trying to find a big stick to use as a crutch. Yeah, something like that would be nice. Robbinsville. Yeah, that's the closest one. Spot. Yeah, Spot sucks, man. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just found the live stream with you now. Hey, man. Johnny, glad to have you, man. Probably going to be bugging out here in a second because I'm like an hour and a half into the stream. Hiker felt really bad. Helicopter rescue cost her 50 grand. She had the Garmin insurance. Dixie Homemade Wanderlust on Dixie Homemade Wanderlust on YouTube. Huh. Yeah, well, Hiker felt really bad. Well, I felt really bad when I was in the hospital in Kentucky. And my flight from Kentucky to Vanderbilt was $104,000. And it wasn't even comfortable. I had a BDSM nurse that smashed my foot. I think she may have closed it in the helicopter door. I don't know. Maybe that's where I lost my foot. I don't know. My foot was fine until I got on the helicopter, and Nurse Ratchet smashed the door on my foot. Anyway, I really wanted to punch her in the face, but they had just gave me a bolus of ketamine before they loaded me into the helicopter. I guess to shut me up and to keep me from fighting, but it didn't do anything for my pain. It did nothing for my pain. It was excruciating. I was in pain when they put me on the helicopter. And then they smashed my legs with the door trying to get my big fat ass in the helicopter. And specifically, they were smashing my leg into the center post. Anyway, it was horrific. It was a fun ride. Other than excruciating pain, it was a fun ride. I recommend it. $104,000. I think everybody should get a helicopter ride. Garmin inReach is one. I'm thinking SpaceX is going to make satellite communications that's already dirt cheap, as far as I'm concerned. It's not cheap enough for me, but I am ready. I am ready for anything Elon Musk rolls out with the satellite. I'm ready. Satellites they launch don't make satellite cell calls and texting cheap first. Yeah. Good to see you, mate. Progress videos are awesome. Thanks, Chris. I enjoy making them, man. I really do like sharing because I get a lot from the feedback. I get a lot from you guys. I get a ton of inspiration and motivation from the positive feedback I get from the folks that watch me hobbling around with a stick. Yeah, hopefully one day sooner than later, I'll be throwing my leg over a motorcycle, and maybe we'll continue that journey. Um, but I'm imagining I'm going to be having a struggle with my leg for a while, and I'll probably keep talking about, even if I'm not struggling, I want to keep talking about my leg, and talking to the people out there. Had somebody that just started watching me, and he was 2 weeks out from his surgery, and I'm like, hey man, it gets better. I'm trying to spread the love that folks, my viewers, have spread to me and made my recovery what it is. I could just be sitting in bed, you know, drowning in my sorrows had it not been for the people that go Don. Like, that's really cool, man. That's the great thing about YouTube. One of the great things. Dixie BDSM nurses can be expensive. uh, Dixie has heart issues, even though you're talking about your YouTubers. My only helicopter ride was $25 at nuts. Yeah, I would much rather do a $25 ride. I'll tell you what would be cool is flying over the volcano in Hawaii. I always wanted to do that, but I think those started at 250. But yeah, I always wanted, especially when it was erupting. That was pretty cool seeing those guys fly over. They didn't get very low, but hell, you could see the big picture. You could see the Google Earth view of the volcanoes, which is really hard to do. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that's all we're gonna do tonight. I don't have it's plenty, and it's funny that the people that are watching sometimes go, wow, I hate that you're going. I want to keep talking. I want you to keep talking, and then the people that watch the video later go, wow, Don, a 3-hour live stream. What the hell, man? Give it up. It's like, you don't have to watch it all. Watch the stuff that's interesting. Buzz through to turn the CC button on, and you can see what I'm talking about even. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, y'all. I'll see I'll see you guys when the next